Good morning. Welcome to our weblog of our weekly reports. I'm Liam Alexander, the Commercial and Dealing Director here at Aston Currency Management. The last fortnight or so has been the most volatile we've seen in quite a long time in the foreign exchange markets. There's been a lot of volatility surrounding the major currency pairs. Let's look at sterling dollar to begin with. Our forecast at the start of the year was for cable sterling dollar to be trading around 145. We had the Bank of England Governor, Mark Carney, speaking on Thursday last week, where he pushed back expectations of a rate rise in the UK. He said he would consider outside influences, read into that the Eurozone, and also the strength of sterling when deciding when to raise rates in the UK. That coupled with an expected increase in the interest rate rise by the Fed in the coming months has dragged sterling and dollar lower. In addition to that, we've obviously seen, as you would expect, investors flocking into the US dollar as a safe haven currency. So that's really driven the move lower in cable. We broke through 20-month resistance levels on Friday at 140 at the figure. We have the UK general election on the 7th of May, so that's only just a little under 2 months away. With any kind of political event, there's obviously going to be uncertainty surrounding that. And with the outcome, the most, I guess, unexpected in a generation, then there should be a lot of currency volatility. In my opinion, we're going to see some sterling weakness in the run-up to April, beginning of May, very much so in the first week of May. We could see sterling dollar, I would imagine, come under a little bit of pressure and come down to about 146, 145. If you do have a currency exposure on sterling dollar, you may wish to consider getting in touch with one of the trading team here at Aston. If you're a seller of USD, and we have many clients that are, obviously you're in a fantastic position. We have broken through the key resistance level at 148, although I'd expect this week to have a little bit of a bounce back up. But with sterling dollar historically in the past 5 years being around 160 fair value, if you can achieve anything under 150, then it's a very opportune time to look at selling dollars. I would look at covering off some on a spot basis and look at staggering market orders to the downside. If you're a buyer of USD, well, let's be honest, it's not a fantastic time to be buying dollars. You should be looking at a kind of worst case scenario now. We had 172 in the latter part of last year. We've obviously fallen through 150 for the figure. You should be looking at the kind of worst case for yourself. Could we go down to 145? Could we go down to 140? Absolutely. Then 150 is looking an actually attractive level. What you may want to consider doing is covering off 50% of your exposure on spots. And if you do think things are going to go higher, you may want to implement a market order at various levels just to average up your kind of rate of exchange. And on to euro dollar. As I'm sure you've all seen, we've had a dramatic fall in euro dollar in the past few weeks. Everyone's now calling euro dollar to parity. And we broke through a key level again on Friday. It was quite a hectic day of 105 the figure. That to me is now opening the gates, as it were, for euro dollar to have a shot at parity. Do I think it's going to go there? Perhaps not. I think the move has perhaps, although it has momentum, has perhaps been overdone in the past few weeks. Yes, obviously, there's still major problems going on in the Eurozone. The Greek situation is still in people's minds, coupled with the US dollar's strength and the continued expectancy of that, then yes, I do think euro dollar will go lower. I think it may bottom out about 101, 102. And this week I'd expect, as it's been such a severe move to the downside, we should see some bouts of euro strength. So you may see euro dollar pick back up to 106.50, 107 the figure, possibly a little bit higher, depending on how this week's events go. Our forecast here at Aston was at the beginning of the year, I'm sure you've all read our weekly reports, was for euro dollar to trade around 107 at the end of this year. The move lower has happened a little quicker than I think myself or anyone else here had previously envisaged. However, I think we're going to have peaks and troughs throughout the year. We should see euro dollar settle around the end of the year, about 107. And our dear old favourite, sterling euro, we traded above 142, the figure last week. To say it is above where I think anyone's expectations are would be correct. What I said earlier on euro dollar, with bouts of euro strength, I think when it comes to the fore this week, we should see sterling euro drop slightly lower. If you do have a sterling euro exposure, obviously now is a fantastic time to lock in your euro requirements. If someone had offered you just a little under 140 3 months ago even, you would have snapped their hand off. So please do get in touch with one of the team here at Aston. You can contact myself or one of the trading team, and we'll look at your currency exposure for you. We still have the Greek situation playing out, and I would expect this to keep going on its sweet little way till June, and I don't think we're going to see any kind of real clarity on that situation until then. So we will start seeing some more volatility this week. And what data do we have out this week? We have the ECB President Mario Draghi speaking this week, which will be fun as always. He will obviously provide some volatility to the euro crosses. The press conference is going to be the main point here. Going on to Wednesday, all eyes focus on the UK. The Chancellor George Osborne will be giving his 6th budget, the last one before the general election. So expect some kind of point scoring. He'll be looking to get his points across on growth, jobs, and that the UK is the fastest growing economy in the G7. And in the afternoon, UK time, we pop over to our friends across the pond in the US, where we have Janet Yellen speaking. And will obviously give us some testimony from the Federal Reserve press conference. If you have an exposure this week on sterling dollar, sterling euro or euro dollar, it may be an idea to get in touch with one of us here at Aston prior to Wednesday, as that's going to be the key day this week for events and releases. We take pride here at Aston in delivering a tailored solution to you, our clients. Please do get in touch with any questions or suggestions that you may have. You can look at us on our website. You can get in touch with us at our offices here in Mayfair on 0207 493 5555. Alternatively, if you're up to date with media and all those kind of shenanigans, you may want to get in touch via our Twitter feed, and our Twitter address is @Aston Currency.